Hey guys, what's up? So today I'll be talking about my top 10 favorite devices in my entire collection. Let's get into it. So as you can see here, these are the devices that I consider to be my top 10 in my collection. And I'll be talking about what device, what iOS it's on. Let's get into it. First off, let's start with this iPad 2. It is a 64GB model on iOS 4.3.3. Next up is this iPad Mini 3. On iOS 8.0. And something very interesting about iOS 8.0 on the iPad Mini 3 is that the iPad Mini 3 was launched or released in October 2014, so it should have started with iOS 8.1, which, well, the iPad Air 2 started with iOS 8.1 and came out at the same time as this, yet the iPad Mini 3, at least the Wi-Fi only models, some of them shipped with iOS 8.0. Next up is this iPad Pro 12.9-inch first generation on iOS 9. And something that's very special about this is that this is the first iPad that's such a massive size. And iOS 9 is the original iOS for this device. Meaning that this is the only possible device that had slide to unlock and a 12.9-inch display. Next up, I have this 2017 iPad Pro 10.5-inch on iOS 10. And what's very special about this is that this is the first iOS device ever to come with a 120Hz display. Well, also the 12.9-inch version of this. And the final iPad I'll be covering in this video is this 2018 iPad Pro 11-inch model running iOS 12. And what makes this one even rarer is that this is the maximum 1TB storage model. Well, and this and the 12.9-inch version of this is the first iPad model to come with an option of 1TB of storage. And also, a secret little bonus you get on the 1TB version of the 2018 iPad Pro is that it comes with 6GB of RAM, while the lower storage models have 4GB of RAM. Well, and this is also the first iPad to take on the iPhone X design and ditch the home button and introduce Face ID. The first iPhone I'll be covering in this video is this iPhone 5 running iOS 6. As you can see, it's not just iOS 6, but it's in fact the very first iOS 6 version that came with it, 6.0. As you can see, it even has the original baseband version, meaning this is truly on iOS 6.0 and was not updated later and downgraded using SHSH blobs, for example. The next iPhone I'll be covering is this iPhone 5S on iOS 7. As you can see, this one is on iOS 7.0, the very first version of iOS 7 that came with the iPhone 5S. Next up is this iPhone X on iOS 11. However, I would love to find an iPhone X on the very first iOS 11 version that came with it, which is 11.0.1. I am still looking for that. Although, in the meantime, having this is really nice. The second to last device I'll be covering is this iPhone 14 Pro on iOS 16. As you can see, it is on 16.0.1, and something very special about this specific version of iOS 16 is that it is exclusive to the iPhone 14 models. No other devices got this exact iOS 16 version. Furthermore, this iPhone 14 Pro is deep purple, and I really like dark purple. And the final device I'll be covering is this iPhone 15 Pro. As you can see here, it is on iOS 17.0, build 21A326. So fun fact, the iPhone 15 series devices, the ones that were produced early enough, came with iOS 17.0 pre-installed. However, some of them came with iOS 17.0 build 21A326, and others came with a different build, 21A327. This device is on 21A326.